What's up, guys? This is Sam Talks About Games, and today I'm going to be talking about something a little bit different. Today, I'm going to be talking about the backlog and how to get through your backlog. And if you can't get through your backlog, how to accept that you may not be able to before your time on this earth is up, as grim as that sounds. So, first, I'll start off by explaining how dire of a situation I am in with my backlog. So my backlog right now, just based off of games I own and know that I want to play, is about 60 games. Now, at this point in my life, I do have a good amount of time to play games. So if this is all my backlog is, I'll be done with it by like the end of 2024, I'd say. So with this current backlog, I will get through it. However, this is not accounting for new releases. This is not accounting for other games that I'm thinking about playing. Like, I have Metal Gear Solid 1 on my backlog, but I do not have the rest of the series on my backlog. So, that's tack on 4 games there, because I know I'm going to like them all. You know, basically, it could get up to 150, 200 games if I count for like everything that I want to play. So it's very, very daunting. And I'm sure for a lot of you, your backlog might even be worse than mine. Because my backlog was a lot worse once. I cut it down to 60 from like 110. So I think in order to conquer the backlog, I think the number one thing is to have a plan. If you have a plan to do it, I think it could be done. Something I will point out is a good tool for using to track your backlog is called Backloggd, Backloggd. So it's a website that you could track the games that you have beaten, and you could track your backlog all on there, and it has the covers for the games, and it's very cool, and you could make your own lists and all that. So it could be not used only for a backlog, it could just be used for your, top 20 games of all time or something. So that's something pretty important to know. And I will say, planning out your games does help, especially if there's new releases on the horizon. Because if you don't plan your games, there's something called paralysis analysis that you can go through, meaning you just look at your game catalog and you don't pick anything, and the next thing you know, it's the end of the day and you haven't played shit. So I think it's important to, look at your backlog and plan games out like 4 to 5 ahead, and make sure you have a plan so the time you spend on the game is spent actually playing games and not looking at the menus. Because if you're just looking at the menus, you're not going to be able to play any game. The thing that I will note is sometimes there's games that take a lot of time, such as, games like Persona or Tears of the Kingdom or, open world games, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. These are games that take 100 plus hours. But there are also shorter games, such as A Plague Tale Innocence. Metroid games are pretty short. Resident Evil. So there's some short games and there's some long games. And if you're playing multiple games at a time, I'd say play a long game and a short game. Or you could go ahead and play a game that's heavy on story, and one that's light on story. So you don't feel bad about putting the one that's light on story down for a little bit to focus on the one that's heavy on story. That's something that could work as well. Another thing that I will say is don't get like all the new releases. Just get the ones that you're really interested in. I've been guilty of this a little bit because I bought Diablo 4 and I turned out to not like the game, and I wasted about 4 days, 30 hours of playing it. Like, I played it the whole weekend. I liked it for a bit, but after a little bit, the live service thing just got to me. I don't like live service stuff, so I should have looked more into that. Also, I know it's very tempting to get every game on sale when it goes on sale for like Black Friday or a Christmas sale, or for us PlayStation owners. I mean, there's sales for every season of the year, and they're usually very good sales. Even if they may not put day one releases on PS Plus, at least they're good with their sales. But yeah, don't get everything on sale. Just get the stuff you want. Save your money, because by the time you finish those games you have, that other game is going to be discounted even heavier. Um, like near the end of the PS3 generation, like The Last of Us went from 60 to $10, like almost right away, just $10 permanently. Um, you know, The Last of Us Part 1, I think, is having some pretty deep discounts right now, and there's a remake that happened last year. So, save your money until you finish what you have, and then those games, they'll either be in PS Plus or they'll be discounted even heavier. Like, for example, Cold War's in PS Plus, um, God of War 2018's in PS Plus. I wouldn't be surprised if Ragnarok is in PS Plus within a few years. You know, there's a lot of games in there, and you don't have to buy everything because it's either going to end up in there or discounted even more. Also, do not put games from PS Plus or Game Pass, maybe Nintendo Switch Online, because probably a lot of you guys that play on Nintendo have played a lot of those games already. But my point is, PS Plus games and Game Pass games, do not put them on your backlog. You do not own the games by the time you get around to them. They might not even be on the service anymore, although it's rare that they take games off so quickly. It does happen. So don't put games from those services on your backlog, and you'll notice that your backlog's a lot smaller than it was if you haven't been putting them on your backlog. I'm a little bit guilty of putting PS Plus games on my backlog, but I am aware of when the games get taken off, and if I see the game's going to get taken off in a month, I'm going to go play the game. Besides, there's not a ton of games on PS Plus that I haven't played yet. I've played a lot of stuff that's available on that service. A majority of my backlog is in my PlayStation library and my Nintendo library. So, to overview everything I've stated in this video, to conquer your backlog, you must, and I repeat, you must not put games from PS Plus or Game Pass on your library. You must not buy a million new games a year. At the very, very least, don't buy more new games than you can beat in a year. Like, I'm on pace to beat about 80 games this year, because I've played a lot of, shorter games paired with RPGs, and I've had a lot of time this year, more time than I've had in a while. So I'm on pace to beat 80 games this year. You know how many games I bought this year? Or am, like, total am planning to buy this year? About 10 games. I bought like 4 games so far. And, basically I'm buying much less games than I can beat. And in turn, my backlog is shrinking a lot, to the point where it's going to be non-existent by the end of next year. However, like I said, I'm going to want to get into more series, like the Tales series, or, Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill. I'm currently playing through Silent Hill 1 right now. It's a great game. And I know I'm going to want to play the other 3 once I'm done with Silent Hill 1. I've heard 2 is the best out of the 4. I really consider, Silent Hill 1 through 4 is like the main series. After that is when Team Silent stopped working on them, I believe, and it's kind of when the series fell off a little bit. But yeah, I am chopping down my backlog, and you guys should too. This is Sam Talks About Games.